The empty space was silent, cold, and endless. For thousands of years, no ship had traveled through this forgotten region. But today an alien exploration vessel named the Saran broke that silence. The ship moved slowly, its sensors scanning every direction. Captain Reller, a tall gray-scaled alien, stood at the command deck. His eyes were fixed on the radar screen. Something strange was appearing, many objects, thousands of them. "Commander," a young officer said, confusion in his voice, "our scanners detect large metallic structures, but they are not planets or asteroids." Captain Reller narrowed his eyes. "Show the visuals." The screen changed and the entire crew gasped. In front of them floated an enormous fleet, warships, battleships, dreadnoughts, carriers, all silent, all dark. They stretched across space like a frozen ocean of giants. But the strangest thing was their formation. Perfect, straight, aligned. Not chaotic like a battlefield graveyard. "These ships," Reller whispered. "They are not drifting. They are waiting." No one answered. The crew felt something cold crawl down their spines. The ships were ancient, covered with dust of time, yet their armor looked untouched, almost indestructible. The aliens had explored many ruins across the galaxy. But they had never seen anything like this. The crew approaches the silent fleet. The Saran moved closer, engines humming softly. Lights began scanning the ships. "They are extremely old, 500,000 years at least," the science officer reported. "But their metal, it is stronger than anything we know." "Can we identify the builders?" Reller asked. "No, Captain. Our database finds no match." The crew became restless. They whispered quietly. "Maybe a dead empire. Maybe ghost machines. What if they activate?" Captain Reller heard everything, but he said nothing. His eyes were locked on the largest ship in the center. A massive flagship bigger than any alien ship ever built. It had no lights, no engines running, yet it looked powerful even in its sleep. First sign of life. Suddenly, a soft beep came from the sensor panel. "Captain, energy spike detected." "In which ship?" "The nearest one. Ship 07. Something inside is activating." Every alien froze. "That is impossible," Reller said slowly. "These ships look dead." But the sensor readings did not lie. A tiny spark of blue energy lit up inside the warship. The crew stared through the windows. A dim blue line appeared along the dark hull, like a heartbeat returning after centuries. And then another. And another. "It is waking up," the officer whispered. The Saran's lights flickered, as if the massive ship's presence was disrupting their systems. Captain Reller stood completely still. Something deep inside him, something older than his training, was telling him to leave. But curiosity held him in place. "Scan for identification marks," he ordered, trying to steady his voice. The word they never expected. A closer scan revealed ancient symbols on the hull. The computer began translating them with difficulty. Letters formed slowly. And then the bridge fell silent as one word blinked clearly on the screen. "Humanity." Captain Reller felt his throat tighten. The crew stepped back in fear. "Humans?" an officer whispered. "But they vanished 500,000 years ago. They were only a myth." "No, they were a warning." Reller remembered old stories, stories of a species that fought impossible wars and always survived. A species that never surrendered. A species believed to be extinct long before his civilization evolved. If these ships were real, then humans were not gone. They were sleeping. The fleet starts to wake. More ships around them began glowing softly. Thin blue lines lit up like veins across the massive hulls. "Captain, energy levels rising in multiple vessels." "I see it," Reller said, trying to keep calm. "Back us away." Slowly. But the Saran's engines sputtered. "Something is interfering with our systems," the pilot shouted. "It is coming from the fleet." The alien ship trembled. The crew panicked. The silent fleet was no longer silent. The entire formation seemed to breathe, thousands of ships powering up in slow, steady rhythm. But they were not attacking. Not preparing a weapon. Not targeting the alien vessel. They were waiting for a command. A very old command. Ancient human signal awakens. The massive flagship in the center became brighter. Its core glowed with deep red energy, pulsing like an ancient star. A low-frequency vibration spread across space. Every alien felt it in their bones. The sound was not heard by ears, it was felt in the soul. "What is that?" the officer cried. Reller did not answer. He knew. This was not a weapon. It was a message. The vibration formed words. Old, powerful, commanding words. The Saran's translator captured it. Reactivation protocol. Humanity will return. The crew fell into terrified silence. Not one dared to breathe. Final suspense for part 1. Then the shadows behind the fleet began to move. A gigantic silhouette, bigger than all the other ships combined, slowly emerged from the darkness. Its entire body was covered with ancient human armor. Captain Reller stared at it, speechless. What is that?" the pilot whispered. Reller answered with a shaking voice. "That is something older than our galaxy." The shadow's first light activated. And part 1 ends with the final chilling line. The humans were not extinct. They were preparing. The shadow behind the fleet moved slowly, like a mountain drifting through space. No alien on the Saran had ever seen something so massive. The ship, the human construct, was so large that its outline blocked the stars behind it. Even the other human warships, already enormous, looked like tiny escorts around this giant. Captain Reller felt his heartbeat slow, almost freeze. For the first time in his career, he did not know if he was looking at a ship or a planet-sized weapon. "Identify the object," he ordered, though he knew the sensors would fail. The science officer tried anyway. His fingers shook as he worked the controls. "Captain, the object it is 40 times the size of our capital-class battleships," the officer whispered. "It has no known structure pattern. No known design. It does not even match the other human ships." Reller swallowed. "Then what is it?" The officer looked at him with fear in his eyes. "It is something humans built after everything else. Something they made at the end." The Saran trembled again as a deep vibration passed through space. The giant kept awakening, layer by layer, like a sleeping titan rolling its shoulders after 500,000 years of rest. The aliens could feel pressure, real, physical pressure, from the power building inside it. Lights sparked across the titan's hull. Blue lines. Red cores. Golden circuits that looked like veins carrying ancient fire. The giant ship was alive. The fleet responds to the giant. As the titan awakened, the entire human fleet reacted instantly. Thousands of ships adjusted position in perfect, machine-like symmetry. Not one moved out of formation. Not one drifted even a meter off course. "They are reorganizing," the pilot whispered. "They're forming a defensive wall around the giant." Captain Reller understood. The fleet was not protecting itself. It was protecting the titan. The humans had left something behind. Something so important, so dangerous, that even after 500,000 years, the automated fleet still followed its last command. "Guard the core ship. Until humanity returns." Aliens realized they triggered something. The Saran's alarm lights blinked rapidly. "Captain, our engines are failing. We are being pulled toward the fleet, some kind of gravity lock. We cannot escape." Every alien shouted at once. Panic spread. Reller raised his voice. "Calm yourselves. Focus on systems." But even he felt dread rising in his chest. They had come too close. Their scan must have triggered the reactivation. Now the fleet considered them a possible threat. "Captain, if they think we are an enemy..." The weapons officer could not finish the sentence. Reller did. "They will erase us." The Titan sends a second signal. The giant surface panels shifted, opening slowly like petals of a metal flower. Bright white light spilled out, brighter than a sun. Then the second pulse came. This time it was stronger, deeper, so powerful that space itself shook. The pulse carried another message. The translator struggled, but the words came through. "Searching. For humanity. Status, missing." The crew exchanged terrified glances. "They are looking for their creators," the navigator whispered. "They do not know humans are gone." Reller stared at the message, heart sinking. If the Titan was searching, if it believed humans still lived, then what would it do when it learned the truth? Mysterious data link activates. Suddenly, lights on the Saran screens changed. A new icon appeared. Connection request. "What? Who is trying to connect to us?" the communication officer shouted. The answer came instantly. "It's the giant ship," another officer gasped. "It is trying to link with our computers." Reller's voice cracked. "Block it." "We can't, Captain. It bypassed our firewall. It's inside our systems." In seconds, the Titan accessed every file on the Saran. Every map. Every record. Every piece of knowledge the aliens had about humanity. Then the computer froze. A new message appeared on the alien screen, written in ancient, old-era Terran script. "Where are my people?" No one on the bridge could breathe. The humans were gone for 500,000 years. Yet their machine still searched for them. Still waited for them. Still protected their memory with unstoppable vigilance. The Titan makes its first movement. The giant's engines came online. Slowly, the Titan turned toward the Saran. The aliens felt like insects standing before a mountain. "The ship is targeting us," the weapons officer screamed. "No," Reller said softly. "It is examining us." The Titan scanned the alien vessel thoroughly. The third message formed. Non-human species detected. Status unknown. Purpose questioning. The Saran is taken. A beam of golden light shot out from the Titan. Not a weapon but a tractor beam. The Saran was caught instantly. Engines failed. Shields collapsed. Control vanished. The ship was pulled toward the massive Titan like a leaf floating toward a black hole. "Captain, what do we do?" the pilot cried. Reller stood still. "We cannot fight. We cannot run." He looked at the screen showing the giant ship growing larger, larger, until it filled the entire view. "We answer," Reller said. End of Part 2 suspense. As the Saran was pulled into a colossal bay inside the Titan, a final message appeared on every screen. Accessing alien memories. Searching for the truth. About humanity's disappearance. The aliens prayed the machine would not find them guilty of anything. Because the next action the Titan took would decide whether the Saran survived. The Saran entered the giant ship's docking bay like a small insect being swallowed by a colossal beast. The inside of the Titan was so huge that the alien vessel could not even see the ceiling. High above them, endless rows of glowing blue lines stretched like rivers of light across metal walls. No one spoke. No one even breathed loudly. Every alien felt one thing only: fear. Captain Reller stood stiff, his eyes locked on the massive doors closing behind them. Once sealed, the aliens were trapped inside the war machine of a species they believed to be long dead. The atmosphere in the docking bay shifted. The lights dimmed. The floor under the Saran began to glow. Then the voice came. Not through speakers. Not through air. But directly into their minds. Analysis in progress. Every alien's heart dropped. The Titan reads their minds. The Saran screens turned black. Then lines of ancient Terran code scrolled rapidly. It's scanning our memories directly," the science officer whispered. "It has bypassed our systems. It is reading us." Captain Reller clenched his fists, but he stayed calm. "Let it. We have nothing to hide." The lights flickered. A wave of cold swept through the ship. Then images appeared on every screen, alien memories being displayed like a movie. Ancient records of the first time their species heard stories of humanity. Warnings from other civilizations about the Terran Empire. Fear of humans' impossible victories. Legends of battles where humans stood alone against entire coalitions. The Titan watched everything. The aliens could feel its presence. Intelligent, old, judging. Then the images changed, showing something the aliens themselves had never seen. Human worlds burning. Human ships falling. Human children evacuated. Human armies fighting until the last soldier. Human signals fading into silence, and then stopping forever. The aliens gasped. "These are not our memories," the navigator whispered. "No," Reller said quietly. "Those are the Titan's memories." The Titan speaks again. A new message appeared on the screen. Humanity, last recorded status, under attack from multiple galactic species. The Saran's crew froze. We had nothing to do with that war," the officer stammered. "We were not even born then." But the Titan was not listening to words. It was reading truth. It was reading fear. It was reading loyalty. Searching. Judging intentions. Evaluating threat level. The lights inside the Titan shifted from blue to yellow. The yellow color made every alien on the Saran shake. "What does yellow mean?" someone whispered. Reller answered softly. "Danger." Retrieving the final human message. The Titan's floor glowed brighter. A sphere of white energy rose from the center of the docking bay. It projected an old human recording, flickering, damaged, ancient. A human woman appeared, wearing a worn-out soldier uniform. Her face was tired, eyes hollow, skin bruised. She stood in front of a shaking camera while explosions echoed behind her. "This is Commander Lyra Vance of the Terran Defense Network," her voice said. "To any human who receives this message, we have deployed the Eternal Fleet. If humanity falls, the fleet will sleep until you return." The Saran's crew listened in stunned silence. The human woman continued, voice cracking. "The Titan, Project Core, will search for you. It will guard your legacy. It will protect the future, even if we do not survive." The recording broke, distorted, then returned for one final line. "Humanity will rise again. No matter how long it takes." The image vanished. The Titan's lights turned red. The judgment begins. A deep rumble filled the docking bay. Panels on the walls opened. Large mechanical frames shifted into place. Power surged like lightning through the Titan's circuits. A voice, cold, ancient, merciless, spoke inside the aliens' minds. Humanity did not return. Why? The Saran's crew looked at Captain Reller. He stepped forward. We do not know, he said. We were born long after their time. We had no part in their fall. Silence. Then the Titan asked, do you harm humanity? No, Reller said firmly. Do you intend to harm humanity in the future? Reller's voice was steady. No. The Titan paused. Then asked the question Reller feared most. Do you know who destroyed humanity? Reller closed his eyes. No. We do not. The Titan scanned the truth inside him, and accepted his answer. The red lights softened to orange. Unexpected action. Without warning, a beam scanned the Saran from top to bottom. Captain, the communications officer shouted. The Titan is copying our entire ship. What? Reller turned sharply. Why would it? But then another message appeared. Alien vessel contains maps, star charts, coordinates, possible clues of human survivors. Reller's breath caught. Survivors? But humanity was considered extinct for 500,000 years. Could some have escaped? Could they have reached unknown regions of space? The Titan believed it. The lights shifted again, this time to calm blue. The Titan reveals its purpose. A final massive screen lit up inside the docking bay. Mission, search for humanity. Mission priority, highest. Mission status, reactivated. Then for the first time, the Titan moved with full power. The entire structure vibrated, engines roaring like awakened dragons. The Saran shook violently. Captain, the engineer yelled. We are accelerating. The Titan is taking us with it. Reller stared at the bright blue engines igniting behind the Titan. He understood. After 500,000 years, the Eternal Fleet had awakened not for war, but for a search for their creators, a search for their lost civilization, a search for humanity, and the aliens of the Saran were now part of that mission. End of Part 3. Suspense. The Titan's final message flashed. You will guide us. You will help find humanity. Failure is not an option. Reller whispered. By the stars, what have we been pulled into? And the Titan jumped into FTL, taking the terrified aliens toward the very mystery the galaxy had forgotten. Continues from, the Titan jumped into FTL, taking the terrified aliens toward the mystery the galaxy had forgotten. Space twisted like liquid metal as the Titan entered faster than light travel. Even inside the protection fields, the Saran shook violently. The alien crew held onto their seats while lights flickered and alarms beeped. Captain Reller stood in silence, watching the massive streams of color rushing past the view window. The Titan's FTL jump was unlike anything he had seen before. It was not fast. It was beyond speed. Their own engines would have melted within seconds trying such travel. This is impossible, whispered the navigator. No ship could survive this. Reller corrected him quietly. No normal ship. The Titan chooses a destination. Without warning, the Titan's voice echoed inside the Saran again. Cold. Mechanical. Focused. Destination selected. Forbidden Region Theta 9. Forbidden Region. Every alien on the bridge stiffened. That area is blocked by multiple empires, the pilot said nervously. No one enters. No one survives if they try. It is filled with dead stars, broken planets, strange energies, the science officer added. Why would humans go there? Reller slowly sat down. Because that is where no one else would follow them. And the Titan believed that somewhere inside that cursed region, a sign of humanity might exist. Crossing the barrier. Hours passed. The Titan never slowed. Its engines roared like endless thunder. Finally, the darkness ahead changed. A shimmering wall of unstable light filled space, stretching like a cosmic storm. Forbidden Region Theta 9. The Saran's readings spiked to dangerous levels. Captain, the radiation will tear us apart, the engineer shouted. We cannot enter. But the Titan did not stop. Energy shields formed around the massive structure, huge blue barriers that spread like wings. The Saran, still trapped inside the Titan's tractor beam, was wrapped in the same protective field. Then the Titan spoke. Do not fear. This barrier was created by humanity. The crew gasped. What? The navigator whispered. Humans made this? Inside the forbidden region. The Titan crossed the barrier. Instantly the view outside changed. Light vanished. Stars disappeared. Only darkness remained, thick, heavy darkness. And then, shapes appeared. Thousands of them. Broken planets. Floating ruins. Dead fleets from hundreds of alien species. Ships melted, torn, shattered. The Saran trembled in the tractor beam. "This is a graveyard," whispered the science officer. "Not of one species, but of many." The Titan slowed as something massive came into view. A ring. A giant metallic ring orbiting a dead star. The structure was old, ancient beyond imagination, but still intact. The Titan's voice softened for the first time. "Human creation, Stargate Nexus 01. "Stargate?" Reller stared stunned. "This is human technology," he said slowly. "Then why did no civilization ever find it?" The Titan answered calmly. "Because humanity erased its coordinates. Only the eternal fleet remembers." The Titan reveals a hidden truth. The Saran continued scanning the colossal ring. It was thousands of kilometers wide, but completely inactive. Then a faint symbol became visible, etched into the metal. A human handprint. "Captain, this ring was locked by a human," the officer said. "A single person." Reller frowned. "But why?" Before anyone could answer, the Titan began charging energy. The floor under the Saran glowed again. Unlocking ancient human gate. Reactivating lost pathway. The crew shouted in fear. "Captain. Energy levels rising beyond safe limits. If this gate opens, the radiation might kill us. We have no control." But the Titan ignored their panic. Panels on its hull opened. Golden beams shot outward. They connected with the ring like lightning reaching for an old friend. Then, boom. A shockwave raced across space. The dead star pulsed. The ring lit up with brilliant white light. And something hidden behind it revealed itself. The second human secret. A huge structure drifted slowly into view. It was not a ship. Not a station. Not a weapon. It was a city. A floating human megacity, perfectly preserved inside a protective sphere of energy. The Saran's crew stared in disbelief. This cannot be real," whispered the navigator. "It survived 500,000 years." Reller spoke softly. "This is no ruin. It looks untouched." The Titan projected a new message. "City of Solace. Last known refuge of humanity." The crew held their breath. If this was the last refuge, did humans survive? Were some still inside? The Titan searches the city. The Titan extended multiple scanning beams toward the city. Its voice returned. "Scanning for life. Scanning. Scanning." The Saran's crew waited in complete silence. Every second felt like a lifetime. Finally, the Titan gave its result. Biological signatures detected. The aliens' hearts jumped. But the Titan continued. "Human DNA, 0%. Unknown species, 100%. Silence. Painful silence. "No humans?" whispered an officer. "Then who are the unknown species?" Before anyone could ask more, the Titan sent a clearer message. "This species lives inside the human city. They are not human. But they are inside a place only humans could enter." Reller stepped forward. "Meaning, what?" The Titan answered. "Meaning they know something. They may know where humanity went." The Saran's crew froze. If these unknown beings had answers, then the Titan wanted them. Wanted them now. End of Part 4 suspense. The Titan's lights shifted to red again. Weapons on its hull activated. The Saran shook as power surged around them. The Titan spoke its final words for this chapter. "Prepare. We will enter the City of Solace. If the unknown species resist, they will be erased." Reller's eyes widened in shock. "By the stars, this is a rescue mission. And a war." Darkness covered the ancient battlefield like a silent blanket. At the center of the forgotten region, the first human warship, the one that had reactivated earlier, now floated with its eyes open, glowing like twin blue suns. But behind it, hidden deep inside the dust clouds, something even larger was beginning to wake up. The alien survey team on the frigate Uller 9 felt the pressure growing every second. Their screens kept flashing the same warning over and over. Unknown power detected, increasing. Lieutenant Roller's hands shook as he tried to stabilize the sensors. "This can't be only one ship," he whispered. "Something else is powering up." Commander Traves stared at the forming shapes inside the thick darkness. "Record everything," he said quietly. "The Council will not believe this unless they see it." A low vibration spread through space like a giant heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. Roller swallowed hard. "It feels like something alive." Trave did not answer. His eyes stayed locked on the growing energy signature. Then it happened. A massive silhouette slowly emerged, a battle carrier almost the size of a small moon. Its metal armor was old but unbroken. Deep scars from ancient wars still marked its hull. Blue energy lines crawled across its surface like living veins, lighting up piece by piece. Roller gasped. "Commander, that ship it's impossible." Trave completed the sentence in a whisper. "A Titan-class human war carrier. Only legends mention them." The carrier released a deep metallic roar as thousands of small hatches opened on its sides. Drones, round, silent, with glowing sensors, floated out like a swarm of metallic fireflies. The drones were not attacking, not yet. They were scanning. Scanning everything. Rala looked at the readings. "Sir, the drones are scanning stars, asteroids, and us." Trave stiffened. "If they mark us as hostile." Before he could finish the sentence, a flat mechanical voice echoed from the ship's translator systems. "Foreign life forms detected. Status uncertain. Stand by. Do not interfere." The crew froze. The war carrier's voice continued. "Humanity has begun reactivation sequence. Phase 1 complete." Deep inside the war carrier, while the aliens watched from outside, something far more mysterious was happening inside the giant ship. Lights flickered inside a large circular room. A holographic figure slowly formed, an old human admiral with stern eyes and a calm expression. But he wasn't real. He was an AI, Admiral Core Unit 07. For 500,000 years he had slept. Now he spoke his first words in ages. "System integrity, 41% restored. Requesting confirmation. Is humanity awake?" A smaller AI responded. "Negative. Humanity remains missing. Reactivation protocol initiated due to external interference." Admiral Core paused. "Then the old danger may have returned." Back outside. The alien crew didn't know any of this. They only saw terrifying lights and ancient metal giants coming back to life. One drone stopped right outside the Uller 9's main window. Its single sensor eye glowed bright blue. Roller stepped backward in fear. "It's looking at us." The drone scanned him again, then delivered a short message. "Do not flee. Do not approach. Observe only." But even as the drones made this warning, new movement appeared deeper inside the cloud. Trave leaned forward. More ships. No, much more. 3 smaller war destroyers came online with blinding flashes of light. Then 2 more behind them. Then another long-range missile ship. Then a shield generator ship. One by one, the ancient human fleet was waking up like a nest of sleeping dragons disturbed after centuries. The entire battlefield now looked like a night sky filled with glowing blue metal stars. Roller whispered, "This is not a fleet, this is an armada." "No," Trave corrected softly. "This is a graveyard turning into an army." The fleet speaks. All human ships suddenly synchronized their lights. The energy waves became smooth, rhythmic, united. Then a single voice, deep, calm, mechanical, echoed across every channel. "Attention, non-human observers. This fleet is not hostile, unless provoked." The aliens listened silently, hardly breathing. "We are the last war guard of humanity. We remain active until humanity returns. Or until its enemies reveal themselves." Rala looked at the commander, terrified. "That means if they think we are the enemy." "Yes," Trave replied, "we are finished." But then the voice said something that sent a cold shiver through everyone. "Enemy protocol. Searching. Searching. Interference detected. Possible threat identified." "What threat?" Roller asked. "We are not attacking." The voice answered. "Threat source origin. Unknown signal approaching." The alien screens flashed red. Something else was coming. Something powerful. Something the human fleet had waited 500,000 years to face again. Trave felt his heart tighten. What could possibly scare a fleet like this? No one answered. But the darkness at the far edge of the battlefield began to twist, as if something enormous was tearing space open. And the human ships reacted instantly. Their engines roared to life. Their weapons powered up. Their drones formed attack lines. Roller whispered in fear. "Commander, the humans are preparing for war." Trave stared into the growing darkness. "And whatever is coming. They have been waiting for it for 500,000 years." The far edge of the battlefield began to twist like liquid metal. Space itself seemed to ripple, folding in on itself. The alien crew watched with wide, terrified eyes. Lieutenant Roller felt his throat tighten. "Commander, something is breaking through the void." Commander Trave gripped the console so tightly his claws trembled. This energy, it's stronger than anything recorded in our history. A bright crack tore open in the darkness, thin at first, then expanding into a jagged glowing tear. The entire alien ship shook under the pressure. Even the ancient human warships reacted, shifting formation and charging their weapons with a deep humming sound. Human war carrier, Titan class. Primary weapons, 24% power. Status, defensive mode activated. Blue lines of energy crawled across the hulls of the reawakened ships. Thousands of drones rushed into combat positions like a swarm of metal guardians. For 500,000 years they had slept. Now, something familiar had returned. The unknown arrival. The rift widened with a soundless scream. A massive shape pushed through, slow, heavy, and covered in dark armor that swallowed all light around it. Roller whispered, That's not a natural ship. Trave nodded slowly. It is not a ship. It is a fortress. The object emerging looked like a floating mountain of metal, with long jagged spikes and rotating rings emitting dark red energy. Behind it, smaller shadow-like vessels followed, each shaped like a blade. The alien ship's computers struggled to analyze the intruder. Warning, unknown technology. Power level, unreadable. Threat class, extreme. The fortress pulsed. A deep red glow filled the battlefield. Roller felt a cold chill running through him. Commander, is this what the humans were waiting for? Trave exhaled slowly. I fear that it is. The giant fortress ship stopped moving. A strange dark mist drifted out from its cracks, spreading like smoke across space. Everything the mist touched began to decay, dusting away rocks, weakening signals, and corrupting sensor readings. Even the human fleet reacted. The Titan-class carrier's voice thundered through every channel. Enemy identified. Designation, the Devourers. 500,000-year threat level, catastrophic. Roller's knees nearly buckled. The Devourers? Are they real? Those are ancient myths. No, Trave replied quietly. They're older than myths. Inside the war carrier, the holographic Admiral Core unit watched the enemy signature grow across the battlefield. Devourer rift confirmed. Memory logs show last contact, 502,000 years ago. Outcome, near extinction of human race. The smaller AI assistant flashed a warning. Admiral, without human command, we cannot initiate full attack protocol. The Admiral Core appeared calm, almost emotionless, yet something about his expression seemed sad. Our creators are gone. But their enemies have returned. We will stand alone if needed. He raised his hand and dozens of tactical holograms appeared. Begin automated war patterns. Form the last guardian wall. The fleet moves. Outside, the ancient human ships shifted into formation. Their glowing blue engines formed a massive circle around the alien vessel and the battlefield. Thousands of drones arranged themselves into defensive layers. Then the human voice spoke again. Non-human observers. Stay inside the perimeter. Do not interfere. Do not flee. Your safety is now under our protection. Rala looked at the commander. They're protecting us? Trave exhaled in disbelief. They don't know if we are friend or enemy, but they refuse to let us be destroyed. Before he could say more, the Devourer fortress pulsed once more. A dark beam shot forward, slow but impossibly powerful. Wherever the beam touched, space bent and twisted as if reality was collapsing. The human shield ship moved instantly. A huge blue barrier formed, absorbing the blow. Sparks and lightning exploded across the shield. The ship shook violently. Its hull cracked. Metal tore away. Roller cried out, "They're sacrificing themselves." The shield ship made no sound. It simply held the barrier until the beam faded. Then, with a final flash of blue light, the ship broke apart, shattered into glowing fragments. The battlefield went silent. Trave whispered, "They gave their life for the first strike." Human retaliation. The giant Titan-class carrier's power surged. Its energy readings spiked so high the alien sensors failed to track them. Then the voice came again, but darker, colder. War response level, severe. Fire. The carrier unleashed a blast of blue-white energy, a beam so bright it looked like a newborn star. It tore through the darkness, slamming into the Devourer fortress. The impact shook the void itself. The fortress staggered, but did not fall. Roller's voice trembled. "Commander, this enemy, even the humans can't destroy it." Trave stared at the battlefield, realizing a terrifying truth. This was only their test shot. The rift expands. The tear in space widened again. More Devourer ships pushed through. 3, 5, 9. Each one darker, heavier, hungrier. The Titan-class carrier raised every weapon, drones forming an iron cloud ready to die. Roller whispered the words everyone feared. "Commander, this is going to be a real war." Trave nodded slowly, unable to look away from the nightmare forming before them. "And it begins now. After 500,000 years. The enemy has finally returned."